Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dissect the wildest twists in global finance like it's the plot of a thriller movie. I'm your host, and today we're zeroing in on Argentina's economic roller coaster under Javier Milei, the chainsaw president who's been slashing his way through inflation but just hit a wall that's got markets panicking. You've seen the headlines: peso plunging, reserves evaporating, and now Malay's eyeing a lifeline from Donald Trump and his team. But what if the real game changer isn't just another bailout? What if it's time to go nuclear with dollarization, but not the solo act that's failed before? I'm talking about a bold bilateral alliance dollarization pact that ropes in US muscle to make it stick. Buckle up, because this could be the blueprint that finally pulls Argentina out of its endless currency nightmare, though it's loaded with risks that could make or break the whole thing. Let's set the stage with the mess Miley's dealing with right now. Argentina is no stranger to economic Armageddon, hyperinflation spiking to 289% last year, a peso that's more unreliable than a bad weather app, and net reserves dipping into negative territory at minus $6 billion. Milei came in hot, balancing the budget through brutal austerity and wrestling inflation down to 34% by keeping the peso artificially beefed up. But that strong peso ploy backfired big time. It hammered exports, flooded the market with cheap imports, and left the country without the dollar stockpiles needed to service its massive foreign debt. Then, bam, a landslide election loss in Buenos Aires province, a corruption scandal involving his sister, and congressional pushback on spending cuts. Markets freaked. The peso tanked 10% in days, and the central bank burned through $1.1 billion just to hold the line. Enter Trump world. Treasury picks Scott Bessent's dangling all options for support, which calmed things temporarily with the peso rebounding and some ag export tax cuts bringing in quick dollars. But this is just a band-aid. Argentina needs a structural fix, and dollarization's staring them right in the face. Here's why dollarization could be the silver bullet Argentina's been craving. First off, credibility on steroids. The country's got a century-long rap sheet of currency crises and money printing gone wild. By ditching the peso and adopting the US dollar, they'd import the Federal Reserve's rock-solid monetary policy overnight, nuking inflation more permanently than Milei's current peso defense, which is basically holding back a tidal wave with a bucket. No more burning reserves to prop up an exchange rate band. That $1.1 billion vanishing act, gone. Currency risk evaporates, making it easier to handle that mountain of foreign debt without the constant mismatch headaches. And market confidence: investors are already dollar hoarding in panic mode. Official dollarization could flip the script, drawing back capital faster than trying to salvage an unsustainable peso regime. It's worked in places like Ecuador, turning chaos into stability by eliminating the temptation to print money during tough times. But hold up, this isn't a fairy tale fix, and the practical hurdles are massive, especially right now. Timing's everything, and Argentina's in no shape for a clean switch. You need hefty dollar reserves to convert all the existing pesos without sparking a run, but with reserves already $6 billion in the red, they'd require a monster influx of external cash just to pull it off. We're talking billions up front. Then there's the sovereignty gut punch. No more independent monetary policy means losing tools like devaluing to boost exports or printing during recessions in a politically volatile spot like Argentina, with Milei alienating allies, facing midterm elections, and dealing with congressional overrides on budgets. That could spell disaster, forcing painful internal adjustments like wage cuts to stay competitive, which might ignite social unrest. It's a high stakes gamble. Solve the chronic credibility crisis, but risk amplifying short term pain if the economy doesn't rebound quick. That's where my novel twist comes in: alliance dollarization, a souped up version that turns this into a US Argentina power play rather than a lone wolf leap. With Besant's offer on the table and Milei heading to chat with Trump, why not make bailout conditions include a full on partnership? The US provides swap lines and liquidity from the Exchange Stabilization Fund, say $20 to $30 billion, to cover the reserve gap, tied to reforms like floating trade balances and anti corruption measures. In return, America scores a staunch ally against BRICS influence in South America, securing lithium for EVS and ag commodities for biofuels. For Argentina, it's not surrender, it's smart leveraging. Mobilize those $270 billion in hidden mattress dollars with tax incentives, phase in the switch over 90 days to avoid chaos, and sweeten it with bilateral trade perks like tariff cuts on exports. Growth could hit 5% as confidence surges, inflation imports US level stability, and businesses invest without fearing the next peso crash. Of course, it's not without pitfalls. The alliance could deepen debt dependency if not structured right, and political buy ins crucial amid Milei's fracturing coalitions. Skeptics will cry foul over lost independence. But after decades of failed homegrown fixes, this could be the reset button. Tie in US aid for social buffers like job retraining to ease the transition, and frame it as a populist win: America's backing our freedom from inflation. If executed, it rewrites the rules for emerging markets everywhere, blending libertarian fire with geopolitical strategy. Wrapping this up, Argentina's crisis is a wake up call. Milei's miracle teetered because it didn't go far enough on currency reform. Alliance dollarization isn't perfect, but with US support as the catalyst, it could turn vulnerability into victory. What do you think? Bold breakthrough or risky roulette? Hit like if you're intrigued, comment your takes, and subscribe for more finance deep dives that cut through the noise. Until next time, keep questioning the status quo and stacking those insights. Peace out.